And we've returned with another One Piece chapter 1129.
Titled Living Dolls. ¿Por qué? We shall see.
Starting off with the cover page.
So this week's cover page continues to follow Yamato's journey across Wano. As you know, Yamato has set out on the mission to explore all of Wano. Though it did leave off with like kids or people getting kidnapped or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this one is just Yamato looking at Tama continuing her shinobi or kunoichi training with Shinobu.
With Shinobu.
Who, as we see, is back to her old self.
For those that don't remember, when they fought the Admiral, she got stabbed and then got all the water taken out.
She's back to her former glory.
And then we have Yamato in the back yelling, "Gambate, gambate, believe it."
The chapter starts off with the Antler Giant continuing to chase after the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
And we see some townsfolk in panic still. One guy yelling, "Please, Sun God, calm down, man." While another yells, "The sky is falling," because they still see the cracked mirrors. And one guy notices, "Look, you can see flames from the crack."
Imagine that. Imagine seeing that in real life. You just look up and the sky is breaking, and behind the sky breaking is fire. And it's just like they're in hell.
They're in Elbaf and they follow Norse mythology. Then this is the Ragnarok. The Antler Giant says, "I shall not forgive this slight, you living dolls." He said the thing.
He said the name of the chapter. He said it. He did it.
And so he continues, "You demolished my my temple and my poor servants."
And so immediately there, I was just like, JT was right. It's just D&D, bro.
Is that not like the most nerdiest thing?
It's just D&D.
Chunibyo, bro. Chunibyo.
Oh, man.
And the next page, we see the Straw Hats still running away while riding on Iscat, the big cat. Nami says, "This guy's scary, dog." Chopper says, "He's more like a demon than a god." While Usopp brings up a good point when he says, "Is it okay for the town to be shaking like this?"
And then Luffy was like, "So this is all made out of blocks."
He's admiring the Lego world, bro.
Yeah, he is.
In the next panel, we see Iscat jumping over houses and buildings while some of the town folks are beneath him in shock at what they're seeing. And one guy yells like, "Wow, the great Iscat!" And the reason Iscat is jumping over the buildings is because we see a speech bubble that says, "Jump, cat!" Because who just admired the place? Luffy. So I imagine the one that yelled at him to jump was Luffy, because in the next panel, Luffy says, "Hey, he must have put a ton of time into it. Let's try to get away without destroying his hard work."
Luffy admires the work.
Right after he said that, Iscat lands on top of a building and some houses, and he crushes it.
Luffy's like, "What did I just say, cat?"
Then the Antler Giant is yelling behind him. He's like, "Stop that, Iscat. Why do you aid them, bro?" Well, little does he know that his cat is basically hostage.
Yeah. Hostage to the Straw Hats.
And then Iscat meows back in sorrow. You know, they're getting in the way, so obviously Usopp is on his high horse, and he's all like, "We could reach the end of the world in no time, thanks to this cat." And Luffy responds like, "Say what now? Where are we going?"
It keeps going. What are you talking about?
And then Zoro downtones the entire situation by saying like, "This place may look expansive, but it's really just a giant's room." Because like the theories when this thing started, and just to know it's simplified, that we're in a Lego world inside of someone's room. And then Sanji adds, "So the horizon only seems endless." Then Nami says, "It shouldn't be that much further." So then we get a bird's eye view of the map that Nami was holding, the one that Nami found. Mm-hmm. And we see the full map. And also, not only do we get to see the Lego world, but we also get to see like the extension of the room that is still being burned. I like the fact that it has the pets
lying down all dead.
Are they dead? They just knocked them out. And they're in the middle. There's an X that shows that they're in the center.
And then it has Luffy's face.
Yeah.
With the cat.
And around it, we see the mirrors, right?
Yeah.
So we just see how the whole place really is encased in mirrors.
Basically encapsulated, on each side.
And then Usopp says, we've already crossed half of the country. And I guess Luffy wasn't paying attention or looking around, admiring the Lego world, because Usopp continues saying, you should listen, Luffy. We need to follow the blueprints. And then he screams, ah, because he turns around and Nami's tossing away the map. And he's all like, what you doing? And remember, Nami has made hundreds of maps. She is the navigator. So Nami says, don't worry, I memorized them.
It was right here. Right here.
Then Nami gets up and sits right next to Luffy and tells him, Luffy, do you see that mirror? We can see the door from earlier, so where they came from. And in the last chapter, she pointed out the reflection of the castle before Luffy smashed into his own face, right? The mirror. So she's good at pointing out details. When they find the One Piece dog, she can be a detective, bro. And then Luffy replies, oh, you're right. And then Nami adds, if you look closely at the clouds, they're just strung up balls of cotton.
The meticulous work that this man has put into making this is just like, all right, let me make this world for them.
So the antler giant yells at them and says, I see. If you believe those blueprints show you everything about this realm, you are mistaken. This realm is just your room, my guy. What the hell is he talking about? He continues, in truth, this place is a giant detention center. I guess maybe a jail cell was before, right?
Yeah.
Detention center, jail cell for giants. And he just called it his room, so it was...
He's locked up.
Was he locked up in there before?
I'm guessing so.
Before, we were talking about his staff. The staff I told you looked like a ring light. You said it had the shape of a sun.
Yeah.
We're admiring the staff. Different from what we've seen giants.
Yeah.
Giants usually carry weapons. He was different. He was carrying what we thought was a staff. So
A
while he was
staff.
saying all those stuff, this man grabs the center of the staff, pulls it away, and it becomes a net.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if because when we saw the pictures, the staff, it looked like it was empty in the middle.
That's right. Yeah, no.
I don't know if he placed the net. He had to set it up or something, because in one panel, it's blank. And then the next panel, he's pulling it and it becomes a bug catcher, bro.
Basically. It's
He
just
tugs on it and he stretches it out. And now he has a bug catcher net. And that was disappointing.
I was like, bro, really? Like the whole thing, like imagine us hyping it up, be like, oh, look, it's a staff. He probably uses magic or some stuff. Like, no, it's
something else, anything else different
just
from other.
A net. I hate this so much. It like gets lamer by the second. And I think that's what I really, really like about what Oda does. Is like you just look into this whole thing. It's like, oh my God, what could it be? It's just like, this is crazy. Nah, it's just some guy that likes D&D and uses a net.
Even Zoro is all like, a net? Like, he's surprised, but he's all like, a net, bro?
Like, really? Like,
Sanji points out something important is, why is he talking like a samurai? Now, remember, they just came back from Wano. So the giant must be speaking in a dialect similar to how a samurai speaks. And because they just came from Wano, they're very familiar with it.
He was like, hey, bro, you're in the wrong place. That was 2 arcs ago.
As they're saying this, the giant swings down. He swings down and he does capture them. And then he adds, this facility was designed to ensure no giant escapes its walls. Yeah. Even if you were to reach the other side, do you think you have any hope of breaking through? It's just another dead end. I'm like, buddy.
Buddy, have you seen the main character? Have you seen
the real sun god, bro? What the frick?
My boy's gonna be like, hey, yo, hold my beer real quick.
But it's funny, he captures his cat and Luffy yells, hey, keep running, cat. What are you doing? And his cat replies, yeah. Translation, can't get up, bro. I've been caught. And then where he was captured, some of the townsfolk are right next to them. And one guy yells, great Iscat, why are you? And he's cut off by another guy yelling, who are those people riding behind you, bro? Then Zoro, while holding the hilt of his sword, says, hurry up. And Sanji flames on his leg. And imagine they both yell, go! And Zoro swings his sword. And Sanji kicks up and bursts the flames, rips apart the net. his cat leaps out yelling, "Yeah!"
and escapes.
Translation, Sasageyo! And then the antler giant obviously is surprised by this. And he's all like, these are metal wires, man.
It's like, how do they break out of it?
He sees Iscat and them running. So he says, this resistance is futile. Ahead is the domain of the almighty ear god. So there's two folkmen beneath him.
Oh, man.
And they're all like, great sun god, about the ear god. The truth is, and then the antler giant is surprised because looking ahead, he sees the remains and burnt smoking bones of his rabbit, bro. And they're all like, we found his body burned to a crisp earlier today, man. We don't know why.
Meat is missing. Well, we don't know what happened.
This is an unknown situation. We don't know what happened.
Oh, they messed it up so bad. They messed it up.
So the man continues on like, we thought our misfortune couldn't get any worse, but then we saw the cracks in the sky. This day is truly cursed. And the antler has an inner monologue. And he's all like, they beat it? The carnivorous rabbit? My gold bunny?
It's funny that he said it was carnivorous. Rabbits are only eat plants.
Yes. So the antler giant begins to laugh maniacally and says, how lovely, how precious. This world is a marvel. A grand tale is unfolding in my miniature garden, taking a life on its own right before my eyes. Then he looks ahead and says, I underestimated them. This is giving me goosebumps. While laughing, he might have a unique laugh. For sure. Because it says like, dehehehe, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that's going to sound. So
like
I'm not going to laugh like that.
You just did like that.
So he continues, verily, evil has spawned and heroes are being born in the world I created. Chill, dude.
He's just making this up as he goes, dude. This is like his explanation for all this chaos that he did not intend.
It kind of sounds like most gods in like Roman mythology, Norse mythology, where gods eventually get bored. And so that's why they create warriors or games for their entertainment. And all those gods that I've seen usually get wrecked by Kratos.
The god of war.
So imagine what's going to happen to this guy. He ecstatically continues. History is being made. This is the beauty of my living dolls. Say the thing again. A minimalist world and it's all mine. And then the townsfolk begin to talk amongst each other. One guy says, this is our chance. Another says, the escape route is open. The next guy says, let's run while we can, man. And the last guy says, because they're a community, spread the word, spread the word.
They know that they've been captured in this thing. It's not like they had no clue what was going on.
The previous chapter was called RPG.
Yeah.
It might have been referring to the townsfolk.
Yeah.
They were playing a role.
And as to not piss him off, they would just be like, okay. It's like, all right, man, you're gonna be this is your new name now, you NPC.
This entire time, they've probably been looking for a way to escape, and they weren't strong enough to do what the Straw Hats just did in like 10 minutes.
The Guardians, the pets.
So now, thanks to the Straw Hats, they do have that opportunity, and they're done with this charade, dog. They're like, F this, we're getting out, bro.
He told me my name was Jack. My name's Jim, bro.
From afar, looking at this whole scene with this guy laughing maniacally, Luffy says, what's he laughing about? It's like they have a pretty good distance, I guess. So the antler giant continues. It's a live drama played out in the palm of my hand. Hyrudine may accept you, but I don't. Let's see what you do next.
Now that's a name that...
You mentioned Hyrudine.
Yeah.
Now we know that this guy is related to the new giant warrior pirates
that Luffy befriended in Dressrosa.
For a second, forgot who that was, so I had to look it up. All I had to see was the image of Luffy punching him, knocking him out with one punch. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, Dressrosa, right? Coliseum. Oh, my bad. Lucy did it, not Luffy. Lucy.
Yeah, get it right.
But I didn't remember the members of the crew. I looked it up after I read the complete chapter, so I'm not spoiling it right now. But we do get to see his identity. And because calling him Antler Giant is such a hassle, I'm just gonna call him by his real name,
Jack.
Rodo. Unfortunately, I would prefer Jack. His name is Rodo, and he is the navigator of the new giant warrior pirates. That is affiliation of why he said the name Hyrudine here. So next, Usopp, with his trusted Kudo Kabuto in hand, yells, "Lethal green star, skull bomb grass." We do see an awesome big explosion with the smoke in the shape of a skull. And even Rodo is taken back because the explosion was bigger than him. It was a pretty big explosion. But then Usopp yells, "It's no use. I broke the mirror, but the wall is seriously strong," because he did shatter the mirror, but that wall did not give. Of course, Luffy responds, "Just leave it to me." Of course.
Like, hold my beer, bro. I got this.
And then Rodo, like a freaking giddy child, says, "Brilliant. What a chapter." Fourth wall break. "I can't get enough of these weaklings struggling against their fate. Their bitter failure and hollow despair only showcases their humanity."
This man is dialoguing.
And people are now from fear to, huh? Like, what's with this guy, dude? This is who we've been worshiping, dude.
It's crazy.
They're all getting the vibe. They're getting that vibe. So he continues, "Setbacks and disappointments. That's the core of character development." Now this guy is starting to sound like trolls on social media, dude. So he carries on. Damn, this guy's dialogue.
Yeah, dude.
"This folly is comical to watch, but your valiant efforts move me to tears. I am glad you made your way to me. Luffy Tasso, Zoro Tasso, Nami Tasso, Usopp Tasso." Obviously surprises the Straw Hats. Nami says, "He knows our names?" I'm like, bro, you're famous, dog. Then Rodo adds Santasso, Chotasso. So he shortened Sanji's name and Chopper's name.
Yeah.
And then Chopper's hearing his shortened name, he's like, "What's a Tasso, bro?" So from what I read online, I think the word Tasso was used in honorifics, like old honorifics. But when I mean honorifics, it's similar to like desu.
Yeah.
When you hear characters complete a sentence and then they say des or desu. Or in the case of Wano, Degozaru.
Yeah.
Some say Degozaru is more formal, and then informal is more like just saying Gozaru. Momo and Kiemon, I think one of them was using it. It's more used as internet honorific slang. Again, what I read in the internet is basically used by fanboys.
Interesting. Okay.
Usually you say it to an idol, or they use it for an idol that they stand.
He stands for Straw Hats, bro. We all stand.
We all stand Straw Hats, but I'm not saying Tasso. Meanwhile, Luffy is setting up for an attack. He's all like, "I'm gonna punch through, and it's time for a little gear forth." And then we go back to Nami, who's looking at Usopp and says, "Hey, Usopp, there's no one to blame over a natural disaster, right?" But Usopp, being none the wiser, responds like, "You mean like earthquakes, floods, storms?" Nope.
You can't blame those.
Generally, those things just happen. Nami replies, "Good, because that guy definitely put us through a lot of crap. He's really pissed me off, and you do not piss off Nami." Usopp finally gets it. He's all like, "Hey, yo."
Oh, what you doing, huh?
Yeah, he's a giant.
You don't want to piss him off.
And then Sanji interrupts with like an ugly crying face that is in anger. He's all like, "I totally get you, the anger, Nami. Nami-san, I totally get you. I'll never forgive him either. I can't stop thinking about how he got to dress you up."
The poor Sim Sanji.
Insert Yama Yugi meme here.
It should have been me. Not him.
It's not fair. In this moment, Nami Sims understand, bro. We all relate to Sanji. Who says, in anger, "I'll grind him to dust with my own legs." And then Nami's all like, "Get a grip, Sanji-kun. Besides, I have a feeling he's about to feel some divine retribution by a goddess." Yes. And then Rodo has a flashback.
Flashback time.
Of when he got his hands on the Straw Hats.
Which is wild that you brought that up. Like from last time, I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Just get their ship. Like
exactly. And how he got it was also crazy. So now here we get to see how Rodo looks like without the getup that he's been wearing in present time. So in the flashback, he sees his crow approaching him while carrying something in its claws. And Rodo says, Mugen, what have you got for me this time? And then in the next panel, he's looking at the Straw Hats. He has them laid out on the table and he's looking at them and he's all like, "Oi, isn't this the Straw Hat crew?" But the giant warrior pirates were guiding them. In the next panel, he says, something must have happened. They're fast asleep. Wait, didn't they just came from Egghead? Did they go through the sleeping mist belt? You go to sleep, sleeping gas location, of course. New World.
Makes sense to me.
Then we get a flashback within a flashback because we get a small little panel where in this little flashback, within a flashback, Rodo is behind Hyrule and he's saying, seriously? And Hyrule is just like, yup. So I guess it was in this moment that Rodo found out that the new giant warrior pirates were going to join the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, and he must have been against it.
Yeah.
In the next panel, he says, this is awesome because Hyrule joined you all on his own, without even telling us, man. And he wanted us new giant warrior pirates to serve you as if. Elbaf's strongest warriors don't follow itty bitty humans. Has he got a shred of pride? And I'm all like, bro, did you, obviously he didn't see it, but this man knocked out your captain in one punch, bro. And his name is not even Saitama. He's holding Luffy and Nami in the palm of his hands. And this bastard, just look at this small, frail body. Oh? Yeah, it's Nami. And he's all like, it's my queen, Nami Tasso. Nami begins to move. And it seems like she's about to wake up. And this bastard lays them down. And then he gets a big syringe, points it at them, and squeezes the syringe. And a bunch of gas plumes out of the syringe. And I'm guessing it was that sleeping gas.
Yeah.
And he's all like, just go to sleep.
That's so creepy.
Because he continues, you're in for a surprise when you wake up. And then that's how we come back. And a flashback, back to the present. The giant crow was big enough to carry the Sunny.
Yeah, that's wild. That crow is huge.
So you can imagine how big that crow is.
Yeah.
So that crow was the reason Rodo got his hands on the Straw Hats. So now I hope Zoro killed that crow. I hope that crow's dead. So back to present, Rodo yells, I see you have no clue where you are. Stay and run wild here. Now you all will serve me. Then something catches his attention. He's like, eh? And Nami yells, ready, Zeus? And Zeus replies, I'm ready to go, Nami. Rodo looking up, he's all like, what is this? I didn't make this. So what he's looking at is a dark, crackling thunderclouds. As Nami yells, then by all means, thunderbolt. And while making Pikachu proud, she shocks the shit out of this fake sun god. Obviously, everybody's looking at this scene, so some townsfolk are looking at this and they just see their sun god and they're like, "Wow, the great sun god!" Shock the shit out of him. In the last page, remember Luffy was loading up for his attack, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I hate to say this, but we're leaving. Bye-bye, Block Country. And we get some reactions from the Straw Hats. But Zoro says, we're finally getting out. Sandy says, serves you right, you giant perv. Usopp, with his hands clenched together, please let it be Elbaf outside. Which we're all hoping.
We're all hoping that.
Nami is smiling, looking at her staff, saying, good job, Zeus, good job. The last one is, we just get Choppers just making a ready face, and Iscat says, Rawr! Translation, let's effing go, because I'm gonna die if I stay. And then Luffy Hulk smashes through the wall with a good old
Kong gun.
Usopp cheers, of course. Usopp's the first one to cheer. We're free. And the chapter ends with a smiling Luffy saying, "Ah, ah." What did Luffy see? We shall see.
We shall see.
Just another wall.
The next chapter. Oh man, what a chapter. And gotta hand it to JT. He called it last chapter. This man was just a chunibyo that like D&D.
He saw the negative side of what it means to be a nerd.
One of the interesting things from this chapter is that when Luffy did Gear 4, he only transformed his arm.
She has transformed just parts of his body before.
But in Gear 4?
Oh.
Exactly. True. Usually when he does Gear 4, he has to do the entire transformation.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm so used to seeing it with Gear 3rd.
Yeah, exactly. He can do it with Gear 3rd, but now he's able to control Gear 4 specifically to different parts of his body, which is really interesting.
Screw this bastard.
He Namisu.
Not only is he a chunibyo, all the cringy and negative side of that term, none of the positive, and he got to change Nami. And we Nami stans will never forgive him for this.
JT has been done the biggest transgression. Now your most hated character in One Piece. He's like, yeah.
First, it was what was that lion from
Lion?
The invisible dude before he got killed.
Oh, Absalom.
First was him.
Yeah.
And then he's dead. So I was like, okay. And now this guy. He's
next on your hit list.
Yep. Not mine, it's Oda's.
But yours also. No idea what's gonna happen next. None whatsoever, but
not even gonna guess.
Look what it got me last time. Nothing but disappointment.
But it's been fun. And that's what we hope for you. Some smiles, laughters, and happiness on your continued journey. And we'll see you next time because we are out.